right, we're on.
Ready, Phil.
We're on in 5, 4.
When the clock struck 6, it meant one thing for Ron Burgundy and his news team. Go time.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Motorboating with Mammeries News Flash for World of Warships. This is your host, Tanks for the Mammeries, and I wanted to come back to you guys with a new news flash because there have been a lot of updates and a lot of new things coming into the game in the near future. A lot of new players out there since the game went live on the 17th of September. And for all those new players, and for some of you out there who've been playing the game for a while but don't really know sort of where to go get all the resources, I thought I would make this video for you to incorporate both some of the tips and tricks, some resources out there for you guys, as well as some new information. So let's go ahead and get started right away. A lot of things to talk about today. This is not going to be as long a video as I normally do. We'll have this gameplay in the background, and then when this particular battle is over, there'll be a bunch of other information to share with you guys. So getting started right now, as you're all aware, World of Warships went live on September 17th. And it went live with the following nations: the US, the UK, Japan, the Soviet Union, and Germany. The US and Japan both had full lines of ships. That meant it started with Tier 1 all the way up to Tier 10, with destroyers, cruisers, battleships, and aircraft carriers. The British came in with one ship, which was the Warships, which is a battleship. The Germans recently got, on the 17th of September, one ship, which was the Tirpitz battleship. The Soviets came in with the Grimyashi destroyer, the Murmansk Lend-Lease American Omaha class cruiser, and the Aurora, which is a Tier 2 cruiser, pretty old pre-dreadnought type ship. That was pretty much it. But coming on the 19th of October, the Russians and the Germans are getting additional ships. The Russians will get a destroyer line, and the Germans will get a cruiser line, and we'll have some images and pictures and things of those coming up a little later on this video, so stick around. Additionally, it looks like the Bismarck will also be coming in October, joining her sister, the Tirpitz, at Tier 8. Furthermore, they're going to have a full 1 through 10 cruiser line, which is great. I've got some information from Wargaming on that we'll show you in a bit. The first couple of ships are going to be the Hermelin and the Dresden. There's going to be some more coverage on those from Wargaming in the coming days, and I'll show you where you can get that information. What we'll do right now is soak up a few screenshots and dream of the day when the Germans will be in port. Also, the Soviets will get a destroyer line to go with the Aurora, the Grimyashi, and the Murmansk, and it'll include the following ships, and I will butcher those names, but it'll be the Izyaslav, the Gnievi, the Gnievi, and the Tashkent. I'll get those right. It's really 3 ships. And there's the Kiev is coming as well. So Tashkent, Kiev, got those. The Soviet destroyers are going to bring some very unique features and strengths to the fight, according to Wargaming. Hard-hitting cannons that deliver great accuracy, hitting fast targets at significant distances. They're going to have extremely high speed, strong anti-aircraft armaments, and rapid turret rotation at the higher tiers. These new Soviet vessels are capable of delivering devastating attack runs, says World of Warships. So we can look forward to that. And again, I have some images of those. It's kind of weird what Wargaming did. They put out the information on the German cruiser line in tiers 1 through 10. They put out lots of pictures of some of the low-tier German ships, but then they went out and put a lot of pictures out on the Soviet destroyers, but no information on the actual tier line, and not a whole lot of information on their actual capabilities. I went through and checked some of the various sources I have that I will describe to you guys later on, including Ship Comrade, Reddit, the Wargaming forums, things like that, and I couldn't find a whole bunch of information on exactly what the destroyers were capable of, nor what the tiers were going to be. So we'll just have to wait and see. But as I showed you in the beginning of this video here, there was a clip from Wargaming talking about the destroyers and the cruisers. I will repeat that clip at the end of this video so that you can see what I'm talking about. And I want you to take special note. There's a very quick clip, close-up of one of the ships, and I believe it's a Russian destroyer, probably one of the higher tier ones, that has a double-stacked torpedo tube. It's got 3 tubes stacked double for a total of 6 tubes on a launcher that looks like it rotates from the center line of the ship. I could be wrong about that because it's a really quick clip, but that's what it looks like. That would be amazing. It would be a 6 torpedo strike if they, and I think they will have it where it launches all of them at once. Maybe it's just a double click. But anyway, that's really interesting. There's going to be some different design philosophies on some of the ships with the Soviets. So really looking forward to that coming up in the middle of October. So for the rest of the video, what I'm going to talk about are some of the pieces of information specifically that I just discussed in highlight, and let you guys take a look at some of these different ship we have from the image clips, as well as some stuff I was able to dig up off the forums, and then I'll go through and show you sort of where those resources can be found. So again, in the beginning it'll be a bunch of clips of the ships and things that I know are coming into the game, and then the next bit will be resources of where you can find information like this, especially for new players when you don't really know how to play the game, or you're not sure sort of what skills your captain should have or exactly how to do something. The resources that I give you here that you can then go use will improve your knowledge of the game as well as your skill set in playing the game. So do please take a look at those this information and those clips, and I will have links to everything I've talked about today in the video description below the video here on my YouTube channel. So do take a look at it. Even some of the older, more experienced guys, you can see ship reviews on the different pluses and minuses of different ships in the game so far from people like Jingles and Chase and Fly Daily and Baron Von Games, Cloaking Donkey, etc. So I've got all of their information, links to their different channels, all coming up here at the end of the video. So do stick around, and let's go ahead and get started. So first thing we're going to talk about is the German cruiser line. This image that's coming up is from Wargaming. This is the tier 1 through 10 German cruiser line, and it starts with Hermelin, goes to the Dresden, and all the way up from there. You know, you got the Königsberg, you've got the Yorcke class, which is tier 7, you've got the Hipper, which is very famous. So I've got some images of some of these. Again, they gave you the ship line, but what they didn't give you was pictures of each of the ships. So what I do know here is the first one we've got is going to be the Hermelin at tier 1. It's going to be basically like the Erie or the Japanese thing at tier 1, you know, little pop gun thing that you get in there and learn how to play in the kiddie pool. Tier 2, I've got a couple of images of this ship at tier 2. This is sort of a, you know, pre-dreadnought class cruiser. Here's a picture of it in camouflage. And with each of these, you know, you're going to have upgrades and things like that to do to them. This looks to me like sort of like the stock version. And then we get into some of the higher tier ships, and they all start looking like the Bismarck and Tirpitz and things like that. Prince Eugen, those kinds of things. Anyway, so that's pretty much that. And then on the forums, I was able to find some information on what I believe to be some of the higher tier German cruisers that they're going to have in here so far. And this is the Hindenburg, which is a battlecruiser. This is the 1918 version. And then somebody had the Yorcke class, which I mentioned at tier 7, which this is the 1915 version. So, you know, that's what I'm able to find. Then we get into some of the Soviet destroyers, where plenty of images of them, plenty of pictures of different versions of Soviet destroyers, but not a whole lot of information on them specifically, like no tech tree, no information about any of their different capabilities, things like that. So that's what we get. I do know that we're going to have the Kiev, which will be the next picture here, the Kiev at tier 7. So that's that one, and it looks like Kiev has got the double stacked torpedo tubes on centerline launchers. So there's a total of 12, looks like total of 12 tubes that can be launched in either direction. That's pretty cool. And this information is coming out of places like this. This is where you start seeing the resources. This is the World of Warships forums. And folks, if you're not using it, use it. You log in with your World of Warships game information, your username and password. This is where you can find news and announcement, different patch notes, things from the developers themselves, frequently asked questions, surveys, giveaways, all that kind of stuff, game guides, tutorials. It's all in there. Check it out. Also on the World of Warships site is this page under Media. If you go to World of Warships, go to the front page, and then click on the Media tab, it will have all these videos from World of Warships about things to do in the game, developers' diaries, how to play different ships, all that sort of stuff. Bad Advice, Naval Academy. You need to check that out. From there, these are the different YouTubers that I think, as I mentioned before, put really good information out. I know I've missed a few guys, but these are some of the big ones here. They put out stuff on the ships, on gameplay, on Twitch, streaming, playing with each other. Fly Daily and Baron Von Games play together. Des Games does a great job. Jingles, very famous. And then we come to this, which is Ship Comrade. Ship Comrade has what's called the red tracker, and it's not because the game is Russian. It's because anytime the developers say something in the forums or anywhere, their information's highlighted in red. And if you look at the upper left-hand corner box here, it's red. That's the information from anybody who has authority to speak from Wargaming on World of Warships. Also in Ship Comrade are things like this. You can go to the tech trees for each of the nations and see things like this, which will talk to you about stuff regarding the ships that you're interested in. They have already got posted the beginning of the German line there, so go take a look at that. Then we talk about Reddit. Reddit is a great resource for World of Warships, and again, if somebody is in red, it means that they are a member of the wargaming community and are posting information into Reddit for you to take a look at. It's a fantastic resource. You can find things like this in there. Somebody put together a captain's skill sheet which says at what tier and what ship you should get certain skills and what priority and how many points each of those skills cost. Whether it's really important, less useful, or useless, great resource. You can find stuff like that in Reddit. Moving on, for mods and things like that, this is Aslane. I've talked about Aslane a lot before. You know, if you are worried about having to program stuff into the game, you don't have to worry about it. If you go to Aslane, you click one button, you download this, you click this open, choose the mods you want. There's even going to be a screen that gives you sort of like a preview of what the mod is. You can click each one of these you want. There's a little button there. You hit it, then it automatically loads it into the game for you. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to know any coding. Aslane got all that information. The next one that's interesting and should be paid attention to, and they're in partnership now with Ship Comrade, is Warship Stats. And you can see it right here, Warship Stats. They have you know, all the different information on all the ships from all the servers. If you join, you can see your information and everybody else out there. And as I was talking about, while I continue to finish up some of the resources information, this is the clip again from Wargaming. There's the double stack torpedo tubes. That's the information on the cruisers and destroyers. So, a pretty video. Can't wait to see that on the 19th of October. Anyway, folks, about the resources: Ship Stats, Ship Comrade, Reddit, YouTube, the Wargaming forums. Anything you want to know about the game to date can be found in those. Check it out. Any questions you have, those are the places to go. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate you guys paying attention to this. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informational. I will have links to all of the different resources, sites, and YouTubers that I talked about in this video down below here. Please like and subscribe. I really would appreciate your subscriptions. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching this news flash. This is Tanks for the Mammeries, playing World of Warships as Motorboating with Mammeries, signing off. Thanks very much, everybody. Have a great day.